Okay. Die temp ook nou by my opgekry.
Gonna start now, eh?
Okay, ek fucking thumbs up na my tire pressure so.
What's die temperature?
22 trek, 28, ag 22.
Hallo Pierre. Bly om jou te sien hierso. Dankie dat julle ons kom support. En ja, ons mede vriende van Kinetic Sim Racing is ook op die baan vanaand. Our friends from Kinetic Sim Racing, they're on the track as well. That's Bernsey and Bartis and the team there. They're starting a little bit further down in 12th position, I think. And then we're on second on the grid. Race is about to start. Wet start to the race, which is going to make it pretty interesting. Welcome to the stream.
Okay, 2 minute ons.
Hou dit net skoon.
Ja. Okay.
Ons het sy pedals te baie geëngeld, ja.
Ja.
En daai goed was plat geweest.
Ja, hy sou flip en enkel probleme begin kry.
Ja, want jy kan nie so enkels afgewerk het. Het lyk heel goed hoor. Not too bad.
So Johan Bago Grobler will be doing our first stint this evening. He starts, strategy for us is to do a double stint, a 45-minute stint and then another 45 minutes. We don't change tires. We will try and push tires through to, on a double stint. Basically just a splash and dash in the middle of the stint. And that's pretty much the strategy for the entire race. So this evening we'll be alternating between Bago and Paul. So Paul will come in after an hour and a half. He'll start his stints. And the two of them will basically alternate till tomorrow morning, I think about 4 o'clock, when Eric and Hansie and myself will start, doing our stints. And Bago is then scheduled to do the final stint to the finish line. Yes, Eric. Starting in the rain. Can you believe it? Welcome to Kyalami. Ek gaan mute, ek gaan maar niks sê op hierdie of wil jy hê ek moet vir jou 'n bietjie spot?
Nee, is fine.
Okay, cool. We're starting to go through our formation lap. I don't know about you guys and the viewers, but my nerves are killing me tonight. It's our first 24-hour race, so we're very excited but nervous at the same time. The Kinetic Sim Racing guys, you can see there on the on the table is down in 11th position. So yeah, not far behind us. Thanks for reminding us, Priscilla. 24 hours of driving. Can you believe it? And good evening, Kyle. And then we'll go on board with Bago for the first lap. Green, green, green. 24 hours of racing around Kyalami. We're expecting about 830 laps to be completed during this 24-hour race. There we go. Bago's almost taken the lead. It's a tight one between him and Shahabi at the moment. Great start from Bago, great start. We have lost one position, but that's fine as long as we stay alive. It's 24 hours. This race is not won on the lap, first or second lap. Hey, good evening, Kevin. Thanks for joining the stream, buddy. In the rain, we have a Lexus behind us. The Lexus is known to be very, very strong in the wet conditions, so we'll probably be getting a lot of pressure from the Lexus behind us. Forecast is going to be raining for the next 30 minutes still in the race. So yeah, we're having a wet start to the race. We're hoping to have some more dry weather coming our way because our setup in our car is more towards the drier conditions. Excuse me. Yeah, Kevin, it's nice to sometimes just be able to sit back and watch your race, buddy. So the idea now is for Bago is just to try and get settled in, get into a nice rhythm. And yeah, that's it. Almost got tapped there by the Lexus, late on the brakes. Try to avoid any type of incidents now. Just get those laps in. Just get lap after lap in and stay safe. That's the idea. Nice Bago, good start, huh? Ek weet nie wat daai man para getry doen nie. As we can see, Bago's built a bit of a gap there between him and Bouwmeester. So at least he's got a bit of breathing room now just to get nicely settled in on the track. So Kevin, yeah, good question on the stints. We are planning 45-minute stints. Every driver will do a double stint, so basically an hour and a half. There are individual stint limits of 70 minutes, so obviously every time you go through the pits or in the pits, that gets reset. So we're going to be working on a schedule of 45-minute stints. We're not changing tires during the after the first stint, so the driver will actually use the same set of tires for a double stint. So in the middle, we are just doing basically a fuel up and we go. So we are pushing the tires through for an hour and a half at a time. The race actually has got tire set limits, so all the teams here are limited to 16 sets of tires in the dry. All right, so there's obviously unlimited sets for wet, but in the dry conditions they are limited to 16 sets. Obviously that won't really come into play if a big portion of the race is going to be wet. Then the 16 limit, the 16 set limit is not really going to be a factor today. And then, if that is the case, we may do a bit of a strategy change. We'll have to look at that, but yeah, let's see where the weather goes. Right now, the forecast is for rain at least the next 30 minutes still.
Lower.
Hallo, hallo.
Yes.
So, ek wil net gou ietsie doen, hou net vir my aan. Net gou ietsie doen, hou net.
Ek sê gou weer, die stream het my nou die mekaar gepraat. Ja. Ja. Maar kyk, ek dink die double 45 minutes het ons my anyway uitgewerk. Nie die idee dat daar geen reën was nie. Maar groot probleem is maar die stint limits wat ons het. So, ja, ek maybe met ja, maar ek dink ek en Bago moet nog steeds hou by die double stints, want dan kan jy dalk môre meer vars tyres gebruik. Ja. So ek dink goed.
Ons is nou in hierdie radio kanaal, so ons kan net weer terug gaan na Bago toe. Ek gaan hulle sommer terugtrek. Okay. Hey, how's the virus? Thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, like, as you can see, that the first top, I would say top 8 drivers have already started lapping people. Coming up now, this group is coming up to 36th, 35th and 34th position. So they'll start lapping these back markers already. So yeah, one of the biggest challenges in this type of extreme endurance racing is dealing with back markers during that race, you know. So that's part of the the challenge of a 24-hour race is managing back markers and dealing with it. They're doing very well, yeah. Good consistency. considering he's got a Lexus behind him, which are typically very good cars in the wet. On board with Bago. We'll see how he has to fight the steering and, you know, in this wet weather. Very tricky conditions indeed. You see how he's Bago's trying to find a bit of wetness there. Obviously the track starts creating a dry line, so effectively what happens, there's a section of the track where the cars are driving the whole time on the racing line, which actually becomes dry. And if you're on the wet tires and driving in that dry line the whole time, you start overheating tires, and that's no good. So you'll see Bago actually going off racing line, find some wetness to cool the tires, and not only that, but also there's a lot more grip there sometimes, especially in the wet, because of rubber, so obviously if the track's rubbered in, when it starts raining, that rubber becomes quite slick. So often actually going on the line that is not the racing line gives you better traction. Yeah, this I think it's Dylan Hardy behind Bago at the moment. The AMR is pretty quick in the rain, it seems. However, Bago's doing a very good job of keeping him behind him. And I also notice Hardy is making some mistakes every now and then, which is obviously giving Bago a chance to increase the gap a little bit. But the AMR is definitely good under brakes in the wet, I can see that. But yeah, Bago's doing an excellent job here of just making this Bentley even wider than it is already. Hi, good evening, Sean Knight. Thank you very much for popping in on the stream here. I'd like to ask all the new viewers tonight, if you don't mind, to please give us a subscribe and a thumbs up there, please. The Aston Martin's trying to put pressure on Bago. What he's doing there, it might look like he's diving him a little bit, but what he's actually just doing is just putting a bit of pressure on Bago, hoping that he makes a mistake. So, I mean, that's common practice for drivers, you know, when they're in a race with each other battling. The driver behind will do that, where he comes close every time under the braking conditions, etc. And that's just to try and upset the driver in front of him to hopefully get him to make a mistake. But Bago is doing an excellent job here of just keeping his head down and sticking to what we need to do. Now, thanks, Kevin. Just popping you on the channel every now and then, and you can catch up with us. Thanks. And he's made his move. It's a dice down to the next line. Great driving from Bago. He left space there for him to try and pass, but yeah, it looks like the Bentley in the straight line has got good grunt out of the corners. He's obviously going to try on this turn again. It's very exciting. There we go. As the pass has been made, Bago's let him go there. He's realized that that driver is just faster at the stage, and it's not worth risking an off when you've still got 23 and a half hours of racing left. Easier now to just basically stay, you know, try and keep up with the AMR. and put pressure back onto him now again. It's much easier to be chasing than defending. And good driving here from Bago, really good, mature driving. Cheers Kev, speak later buddy.
Weet jy al enige idees vir strat changes dalk of stiekels met wat ons doen?
Sprake is dat hierdie tyres laat net 'n uur Bago.
Sê gou weer.
Sprake by ons is dat die tyres net 'n uur gaan laat. So ons gaan dalk met op die uur elke keer ons, jy weet, ons stop en 'n tyres doen.
Met ons drivershop ook op die uur.
Okay.
Dis mos ons tyd.
Okay.
Dis met ons, ja.
Jy genoeg veel vir 'n uur.
Dis dis nou die ander ding, nee. Wel dan moet ons hierdie stint doen vir 45 minutes.
7 laps oor, so ek sal naby aan 'n uur kom.
Okay.
En
dan- En dan moet ons nog maar net fuel vir 'n uur nou weer daarna.
Ja.
Al verduidelik net vir my, hoekom moet ons elke keer dan driver swap? Is dit
Dis 30 sekondes anyway. So,
jy meen 30 minute. Ag 30 sekondes vir die pitstop. Okay. Got it.
Ja, jy vat anyway die 30 dan vir tyres, jy moet as wel dat die driver
wat hy vars is. Ja.
Anders moet jy 2 ure double stint in die.
Ja. En hierdie vat verg heavy konsentrasie, ja.
Ja.
Ek stem saam Bago. Okay, cool. Ek gaan dit los vir julle om te bespreek. Ek sal mute. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, still Johan Grobler at the wheel. For those of you who joined us a bit late, we're about 50 minutes into a 24-hour race at the moment. Getting semi-dark now. Very, very tough conditions to be driving in the wet this. When it's between daytime and nighttime, very difficult to see on brake markers and things like that. So yeah, quite difficult conditions that Johan has to be dealing with here. Just an update, our team, we had to relook at strategy now due to the rain. So yeah, we'll be doing some strat changes, and some changes to our stints to compensate for the rain now. Jy reg om in te spring, Paul? Is dit 'n taktiek daar?
Dis funny.
Om te disconnect nadat jy die kar klaar aan Paul oorhandig het. Nice stunt, Bago, well done, Paul. It was tough conditions though.
Okay, Paul 20.
Lekker deep breath, Paul, vat dit rustig.
Ja, ek gaan maar net.
Hou die kar lewendig. Bago, well done, buddy. Bago, ek sê nou net, ek hoop nie hierdie fok aan julle reis is nat nie, want dit gaan tos wees.
Ja. Ek glo met die hele
Hulle in die practice servers het die conditions gechanged, so hey Paulus, settle in, geniet hom. Alright, so we've done our driver swap, first driver swap for the race. Paul Gerber now at the wheel. He's taken over from Bago Grobler. We've dropped down to 22nd. Obviously quite a few drivers will start coming in for their first pit stops pretty soon, I think. So yeah, we should be able to maintain our positions once everybody starts pitting, etc. This is obviously where strategy starts coming into play, etc., which makes endurance racing very, very exciting. You know, you've got these ebbs and flows the whole time during the race, where obviously when the driver's just doing laps, it can get a little bit boring, but as soon as it gets close to where the driver swaps start happening, that's when you start seeing positions shuffling and strategies starting to play out. Hey there, how's it, Matt? Thanks for dropping in and the kind words. We appreciate the support. Thank you. So yeah, for these of you who don't really follow motorcar racing, the actual Kyalami 9-hour race, which gets held annually in South Africa with these cars, the inaugural event in 2019, and then obviously we had in November, and then last year in early December we had the second race here in South Africa. Both of those races, in fact, had quite a bit of rain, where the race actually got to a point that they stopped it, etc. So yeah, Kyalami is notorious for being a wet race. I just hope for us as the team and for you as the viewers that the weather will clear up eventually, so that we can see some nice fast driving from Team Triad. If you're wondering what the red light is on the side of the car, ladies and gentlemen, that's actually the exhaust pipe on the car. So yes, these exhaust pipes do glow red in the evenings. You might actually also see in some of the shots that we get from this camera angle, where the brake pads in the front actually glow red as well during the evenings. So yeah, Kunos has done a great job of simulating what these cars actually do in the real situations as well. Thank you, Priscilla. Yes, that's the first hour of the race done, 23 to go. I just received news that our other team that competes in the race face pro leagues, KSR Racing, they were entered in the Aston Martin. Unfortunately, they had a disconnect from the server. So yeah, that's really sad news on their side, so early in the race especially. What then happens is if you do have a disconnect, which can happen at any time, obviously we're connecting to servers located in Europe. So what then happens is you can reconnect back into the game again, but you typically lose about 2 to 3 laps. The game actually sets you back quite a few laps in terms of where you stand in the race. So yeah, it's never a nice thing when that happens. Sorry about that, Burnsy, if you're watching our stream. We're sorry to hear that, man. It's bad luck, buddy. But man, hang in there and just drive the race and do it for the experience. Thanks for the question there, Matt. So how much horsepower do these cars produce? I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe. So what happens in the SRO GT3 series is all of the cars are actually running a balance of performance type system, which means that every single car on this track is almost equal in terms of the horsepower output that it does, and that's to obviously ensure good racing. So even though you've got all these different brands like Ferrari, McLaren, Bentley, etc. on the track, they're being limited in various ways, either via the turbochargers or the air intakes and other mechanisms, to ensure that all the cars are on equal footing when it comes to horsepower. I do believe the GT3 class is limited to 500 horsepower. But obviously these cars also weigh very little. There's not much in terms of upholstery and those kind of things inside these cars. It's pretty much just the shell of the car and obviously the driver inside there, so they are very, very light. Okay, we're going to watch this closely. Paul is in a battle here with this guy for 19th position. All right, so Matt, I'm going to try and answer your question as best as I can. I'm obviously not a motor mechanic. I know you are a qualified diesel mechanic, so you understand how engines and mixtures and all that stuff works. I have a fair understanding of a lean and a rich mixture, but in terms of these cars, the driver actually has control within the vehicle via the buttons on the steering wheel, etc. He actually has control to run different engine maps. All right, so you can actually change the engine mapping on the ECU from within the vehicle while he's driving. So you get obviously a qualifying type map, then you get a race map, and then there's a map for when you're in the wet, etc. And all of that basically what it's doing is changing your throttle maps, right? So in terms of how aggressive the throttle is or not, or is it more linear or more at a curve, or whatever the case might be. So yes, from my understanding, that's what they have available to them in the car while driving. And yes, Eric will add some to what I've just said. Eric Kirstein, also one of our drivers for this race. Eric will be jumping in, I think, at about 5 a.m. tomorrow morning is his stint where it starts, I think. Eric will clarify, but yeah, thanks Eric. Thanks for helping out with the technical questions there. So Matt, to answer your question on the time, yes, the time in the game is aligned to UK time at the moment, so 7:18 p.m. UTC, so that's 2 hours behind South Africa. But the time frames that they run at is, like we are saying there, it's a one-to-one mapping, if you want to call it that, to real time. So it is currently 7:20 in England, and obviously, you know, the 18 minutes past 9 in South Africa. So yes, 100% real time for this race. Yeah, so and then as you can see there on the timing sheets, drivers are starting to pit now. We've obviously done our pit stops already, so we're now gaining our positions back. And you'll see Paul moving up the leaderboard there quite nicely now, with everybody doing their first pit stops. I think that was we did a good adjustment to the strategy there now. And I can see on the weather forecast, so also for everybody watching, if you watch the screen top right, you'll see the little clouds with lines there, and it's saying that the track is wet temperature. So current in-game ambient temperature is 18 degrees Celsius, track temperature also 18 degrees Celsius. There is no wind, but the most important thing you can see over there is those three little clouds, which you'll see a little clock, 10 and 30. The 30 indicates that what the weather will be like 30 minutes from now. And what you can see there is that in the next 30 minutes, the rain will move from where it is now, which is medium, and it will progress to a light rain. So we'll have less rain, a drier track, and we're hoping after that, maybe the rain stops, we start getting a dry track, we can move to slicks, and then this Bentley can really start showing what it's capable of. We have a really, really good dry setup for this car. Please keep those questions coming, Matthew. We like to keep the stream interactive. That means you guys will stick around and keep supporting us and keep watching. So please don't feel that you know, just keep those questions coming. Between myself, Eric, and some of the other moderators on the chat, I'm sure we will be able to get to your questions. So please keep them coming. Thank you. Matthew, I'm really enjoying your questions. That's another very good question that you've got going there. We will be changing brake pads halfway through the race. So yes, the game actually simulates that as well. So we actually do a brake pad change at the halfway mark during this race. Oh, Lord Virus, how many hours has Paul got on this track? I would say thousands probably. Yeah, Hansie is answering. It also depends on the pads we are running. Just to let everybody know, Hansie is also one of the drivers that will be driving tomorrow. So yeah, Hansie, thanks for also taking some of the questions. Yeah, I appreciate it. Just to get into that point, so Matthew, in the game they simulate different types of brake pads. Like they have in real life, these cars, the teams have access to different types of compounds in terms of brake pads. So some are, obviously a bit harder, some are softer, etc. And when they do in Europe, especially, they have 1 hour sprint races, which are only an hour long, and for those type of sprint races, we see them running softer brake pads, which basically allows them to do, obviously a harder brake if you want to, and brake in shorter distances, etc. But obviously not practical for an endurance race like this. So yeah, we run another type of brake pad set again, which is guaranteed. The game designers have obviously guaranteed that particular brake pad is good for 12 hours. Yeah, Matt, if you actually do yourself a favor tomorrow when you have a gap, do a search on YouTube for, GT3 onboard video, or whatever the case might be, actual onboard video that they've taken with GoPros, etc. What you're hearing in the game over here is what actually happens in these cars in real life. The drivers have the same sounds of the brake pads, squealing, and the car making these noises. It's very, very authentic. Yes, give me word. Hallo?
Ja.
Wil jy nie, Bago, wil jy nie dalk bietjie net vir die mense op YouTube al bietjie vertel hoe jou eerste stint gegaan? Ons hou dit maar in Engels, en dan jy kan maar voortgaan en net vir hulle bietjie vertel hoe dit gegaan met jou eerste stint en so aan.
Nou.
Ja, jy kan maar gaan.
Yeah, first stint was quite tough, so we've got the car set up obviously more geared towards a dry race, so we're hoping that the majority of the race is going to be dry. So it's a wet start. I think tire pressures were off as well. So and considering all of those things, I think we did quite well not to drop back too far. So still running top 10. Long race, and we know the pace is good in the car in the dry. So the quicker it gets dry, the better it's going to be for us, and we can start going to work. Yeah, so these cars are quite difficult to drive in the rain. Not difficult to drive, but difficult to drive fast. So you've obviously got ABS and traction control, but if you lean too heavy on those, then obviously it's going to rob you of massive lap time. So it's quite difficult to find that perfect balance. But yeah, Paul seems to have it nailed at the moment. So
Yeah, he seems to be very comfortable in the rain.
yeah, he's got another 30 or so minutes left in this stint, I think. So looking good to make up another position at least for 7th, and then if we look at the weather forecast, maybe we can switch to dry running quite quickly.
Pretty soon. Right, good. Thanks, Bago. Thanks for that insight. Yeah, it's good. It's nice to just to give feedback to the people that are watching in terms of once the stints are finished, how it was for the driver, etc. So, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Cool. No worries.
so just to expand a little bit on that question Matt had around DRS. So for the viewers here that don't know what DRS is, it's drag reduction system. It's typically, people know it from Formula 1 racing. So in Formula 1 and I think Formula 2, they've obviously got a system called DRS. And what that does is on the rear wing of the car, it obviously when they're getting into a certain zone on the track, they can activate the DRS, which drops the wing, creates less downforce, allows the car higher top speeds obviously, and they use it typically to create a bit of passing and things happening in the racing. So that's just a high level view of what DRS is. Yes, Matt, as Hansie has said there, no, these particular cars do not have a DRS system at all. The FIA GT3 regulations are set, and basically to a large extent these are promulgated cars, which means that there's a road going version of it, etc. Yeah, so the rules are also quite strict in GT3, like in Formula 1, in terms of what they're allowed in terms of aero and all of that kind of stuff, how much of the diffuser is allowed, etc., etc. But in another series, for up until last year, in the German Touring Car Championships, so the DTM races, the DTM cars, which was up until last year was still BMW and Audi that were competing in that series in Germany. Those cars are also closed what we call a tin top car, so it's closed sedan type cars that are obviously highly modified, etc. It's race cars. In that series, those cars actually do have a DRS system as well. And they also, in addition to DRS, have a push to pass type function, which allows them to, push another button on the car, which actually gives them a little bit of an extra boost on the turbo for overtaking maneuvers.
Yep.
Good evening, Sonic. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Daniel. Eye on Fire, ZA. Welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy the racing tonight. Paul is on a flyer here. He's doing an excellent job in the stint in these semi-wet conditions. And just again, if you haven't done so as yet, if you're watching the channel now and you haven't not done so, please drop us a subscriber or at least a like. We do appreciate that. Thank you. So Matt, we need to make a plan, buddy. Then this year Just try and come up to Joburg when it's the 9 hour of Kyalami again, and you get a pit pass and things like that, and you can actually see what they do in the pits and how these cars are worked on and the engineering that goes into it. It is very, very interesting. I had the fortunate thing of being allowed to go in the pits this year. I was right up close to the Bentley team there, seeing what they're doing, etc. And the amount of engineering that goes into these cars is actually quite amazing. And then I just want to do a quick shout out as well for these of you who are wondering maybe what raceface.pro is, that you'll see those logos in the top right hand corner of your screen. You've got raceface.pro there and Resource Complete. So Resource Complete is actually our team sponsor. Big thank you and shout out to Arno van Mansberg and the team at Resource Complete for supporting Team Triad. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much. For these of you who want to know, Resource Complete, they specialize in staffing solutions, etc., resource planning, project management, a couple of things like that. So yeah, if you've got any requirements in that space, needing specialized staff for projects, etc., looking maybe even if you're a person that's available in the market and so on, you can give the guys at Resource Complete a shout and they will help you there. And yeah, okay, that's Resource Complete. And then raceface.pro is the South African league that Team Triad competes in locally in South Africa. So this race tonight is a international race, teams from all over the world. This particular race is run by RCI, which is Racing Club International, or RCI Motorsport. So yeah, this is a team of guys out of the UK that run these leagues. So this is what we call the big leagues. It's an international race. In South Africa, we compete in the raceface.pro league, and that is the premier GT3 Assetto Corsa Competizione league in Africa. We have over 600 members on our Discord. We've got about four divisions of 40 cars competing on a weekly basis. So yeah, that show is run by Bertus Hugo, who is actually driving here this evening for Team KSR. So if you see a guy on the timing boards, Bertus Hugo, he's the brains behind raceface.pro. And yeah, so that's effectively, if you want to get into sim racing, after you've got a wheel and a couple of things like that, raceface.pro is where you go to get your weekly fix for races.